And then there was 4. 4 as in the number of teams left standing. Who would have thought in our wildest dreams that it would all lead to this? So, who will it be? A giant awakened from a 30-year slumber? Or a city of brotherly love trying to push their way to a second title? For another, it's perhaps the sixth time is the charm. And for a king looking up, history remains in the balance. Find me a better script. I dare you. Welcome to Football Talk.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Hot Seat Podcast presents Football Talk Live. I'm your boy Shawn Xavier alongside the homies, Master Earl, Storyteller. It is a great freaking day here today, guys. January 26, 2025. It is Conference Championship Sunday. First and foremost, thank you guys for joining us. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Hot Seat Podcast. As always, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seat Podcast. Listen, like, rate, review, share, and most importantly, enjoy on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get your favorite shows. Hello, my friends. How we doing?
Hola, amigo.
How we feeling? I'll tell you
all
right
I'm
now.
gonna say is EGLESSEL.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
That's how you know they not going to win because the American. Nah, I'm not. No.
Stop that. Stop that.
I fuck with the
Oh my
she's good people. Good.
Cut it out. Look, I have spent this entire week. I have not said anything disparaging to anyone. I have just given like the good luck, guys. I've laughed at the memes that have been sent to me and stuff like that. I've kept the same energy that I've kept all year, and we're gonna see how it goes. But I ain't gonna lie, nervous, so nervous today. I'm driving home today because I had to work the corporate job today this morning because I had some things come up as I'm driving, and I'm like, yo, get out of my way. I have some place to be. But while I'm at work today, I'm wearing this in work today. I'm at work today. Great day for a left. It was fun. It's fun. It's we up, man. We up, man. Welcome to another edition of Football Talk Live. How we doing, fellas? How we doing?
So I'm at the car wash earlier today, and y'all already know where I'm at, where I live, and so I pull up, go inside. Is one of those ones that pull it through so it can get dried and everything like that, hand dried. So we're inside. Guy was walking ahead of me, opened up the door for me, held the door, got on all his all his commanders gear. I said, okay. Well, you gonna have a good day today. He's like, yeah, man. So we just both walk in, and the first thing that we see is a person standing there with a big star on his back. And he immediately stopped conversation, led his way all the way over there. He's like, what you doing here, man? I said, that's how real it's getting. Like, what you doing here, man? Like, you ain't even supposed to be outside right now. Get your car washed, go home. You ain't even supposed to be in these streets.
Oh man.
So yeah, it's pandemonium down here.
It is, man. I have trolled some Dallas fans this week. Shout out to my sister, cousin Dana, because I sent her the meme that you sent to me, Dave. And look, she, you know what? I felt bad because after we won last week, she gave me the congrats and everything else. And my petty ass sent her the one. It was like,
so bad. That's so bad.
Jaden Daniels has now been to has the same amount of playoff wins as Dak Prescott. I was like, oh man, it was just so bad, bro. It was just so
That's hilarious.
Let's get right into it, man. Speaking of them Cowboys, man, we're gonna go through the two games for the day, but let's talk about some other NFL stuff. We had some coaching hires happen, and we can work our way back because the last one just made no damn sense. It did for Cowboys purposes, but to everybody else, we trying to figure out why. So if you guys saw that, after all the hoopla, and we kind of said it here, they were going to use this thing as to hype up the whole situation and never go that route. After talking about Dion and how he would be a great fit for Dallas, so forth and so on. Jerry Jones went in there and hired a coach. I didn't even realize was still coaching. That's the bad part of it. And I forgot he was in-house. He ended up hiring Brian Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer has been, and it's crazy because Jerry said it himself, he's been known as a career offensive coordinator. But now, loosely quoting, he's the head coach. I'm like, huh? In that case, you could have kept Mike McCarthy. You know what I'm saying? But they went that route. And I could feel this roar of just disgust coming out of Cowboys Nation, if you want to call them that. So what was your take on that hire, man? Because I think you and I talked really quick and made no sense. It did, but it didn't.
Side note, I love it because I think it was the wrong pick. So that's on my fanhood side of things.
There you go.
Just on the NFL side of things, man, talking about losing your luster. Like, no matter how much we want to hate on the Cowboys and so on, so like they still pull in the numbers as far as marketing wise and stuff like that. And for you to be sitting back and scraping around for a coach, because that's what this was. You're scraping around for a coach. Man, it's bad, bro. And then let's really talk about it. He was talking about how he's the coordinator and stuff like that, right? He wasn't the coordinator. He held the position, but McCarthy called the plays. So how did he prove himself last year enough to be the coach of your team? He's calling the shots on who's in the position. Yeah, he's definitely doing that. But I'm like, this is once again me sitting back looking and going, this is why people don't want to come there, not just to play, but the coach, because you don't give the range. You don't want a true coach there. And then even when you have them in the building, you don't let them be. Like, McCarthy's not horrible. I don't want to paint this picture like McCarthy's horrible. And if he goes somewhere else, which the only thing really out there now is the Saints, but if he sits out and then comes back and stuff like that, he's not a horrible coach. He got them in the playoffs each and every year. They were hurt this year. This wasn't really what it was.
Yeah.
But, he can coach. But if you're going to throw me away, you're going to drag me along, number one, through my last year of being there. And then you even stop me from interviewing for a job as if you're about to hire me. And then you let me go. Please follow up with somebody that I'm like, okay, I see what they were doing. You hire my offensive coordinator that didn't even call the plays because I called them. It makes no sense, bro. I'll just leave it there. It makes absolutely no sense.
I mean, first of all, I want to say good morning. Good afternoon. Fuck the Cowboys. It's always fuck the Cowboys. I just got out of church and I'm sorry, cursing. You know what? Forget the Cowboys. I don't like the Cowboys. But you know what? To be honest with you, good morning. Good afternoon. The fish. You know what I'm saying? I just want to say EGLS.
Stupid. Stop doing it.
Whatever, because y'all can't spell, apparently. Go Commanders. Can't wait till y'all lose. I can't wait till y'all lose today, bro. I can't wait. And I'm gonna do the Gilly dance. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm talking right now. But anyway, you know what? Like, I disagree with you in a little bit, Dave, where I say players want to go to the Cowboys. Reason being is because the Cowboys, unfortunately, is the name. And a lot of them, I ain't gonna hold you, grew up Cowboys fans. You know what I'm saying? So it's a dream for them to play for this trash behind organization for whatever reason. But for coaches, like, they're never gonna. Yeah, it's a dumpster. You're never gonna get that quality coach.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they got to relinquish everything they want to do to Jerry Jones. You know what I'm saying? So he's got to get somebody who's going to be, a yes guy. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that he can control. And they got to be okay with, understanding that it's your team, but it ain't really your team. You're just the person I got to put in this spot because they said I got to. So, honestly, like I said, I kind of feel like this Cowboys situation is kind of like this Daniel Snyder situation. You know what I'm saying? Where not to the same degree. I'm talking about in the sense that not
things
like he's
gonna change until it changes.
Right. Not saying like he's destroying his team. I'm just saying that things ain't gonna change until he's out of there.
I got you. Let's bring in the statistician here with us, man. It's
that's all right. That's cool. Come on inside, bro. It's over for you, bro. It's over.
I was like, yo,
you see, me and Dave have no giant stuff on. Come on inside, bro. Come on inside, bro. It's all right.
So they did a ranking of the NFL coaching hire, and and I think it was spot on. They gave them a D- for that Brian Schottenheimer hire. Someone asked what happened to the Rooney Rule. I don't know who else did they interview for that job.
Count Dion?
I heard. I don't know if that counts unless they looking at text messages. Hey, I talked to Dion. Is that an interview? I thought I heard Byron Leftwich or somebody. I don't even know. I could be wrong. But on the other side, I mean, ain't too much more to talk about. The Cowboys gonna Cowboys. Let's go with the first hire that happened, and the timing is, we bring in the statistician on with Ben Johnson being hired by the Chicago Bears. What was I know how you feel about the hire. I know what you said in the chat, but honestly, as a Chicago Bears fan, what do you feel about that hire?
So real quick regarding the Rooney Rule for the Cowboys, they interviewed Robert Saleh and Leslie Frazier.
Yeah, you're right.
They accomplished that by interviewing those two people. As far as Ben Johnson going to the Bears, I mean, going within your own division is definitely a statement. One of your first statements after you get the job is to say, this is where we want it to be. Makes it kind of a backhanded slap to where you just came from. But also, we know all coordinators want to be a head coach. I'm not going to hold against it. But I stand true to what I said in the chat until y'all separate. Like, congratulations. Wish you the best. If anything, you can go 14-3 every season or 15-3 every season to where you lose to the Lions every single time, but be successful otherwise. So, yeah, I think it's a good fit for him. He doesn't have the same talent that he has the Lions over there, but he has talented players over there, and he can do something with Caleb. So looking to see what they do there. But am I going to wish for them actually to have true success? Of course not.
What you guys got, man? What's your guys' take on this?
What you got, Earl?
Go ahead.
I think it was a good hire. I thought you were going to go off the other statement, the one he made about a certain coach that's also in that division. He said something particular.
Yeah,
I'll let you go on that one real quick. Go ahead and.
You mean him saying that he enjoys beating Green Bay twice a year?
Twice a year.
Keep on doing that.
Yeah.
I respect that. Like that was a way of.
That's our main rival.
Else, right?
Who said that, Ben?
Homage to he said respect to the Vikings coach, but it was like basically I want to keep beating the Packers. It felt good beating the Packers twice a year. So
yeah, when you make that type of statement, that's when I sat back and I was like, okay, all right, he's ready to go. He's been waiting for this because remember, they've been picking at him for a couple of years now.
Yeah,
he just now is out there. So. Yeah, do I think it's a good fit? Yes. Do I still think they have a lot of work to do? Yes. And honestly, not even just that. Slowly walking and bringing together Caleb's mental.
Yeah,
because I'm telling you that rookie year probably hurt him pretty bad. So we'll see. I don't know what's going on with Earl.
I finally got your way. Yes. Sorry.
We'll talk about that during our segment. Thank you, Earl. Can you make a response to what we're talking about, actually?
So,
wow.
Play wild over here. Play wild.
Yeah. So Big Ben Jones or Johnson, whatever his name is.
Yeah, let's just leave this alone.
Yeah.
On to the next coach.
This is my take on it.
I don't give a fuck what he said. Like, I don't care.
This was my take on it.
He talking shit with a trash quarterback. Well, he ain't trash, but he talking shit with fucking Caleb Williams, man. And shut the fuck up. Show me something.
Hey.
Oh my god. We gotta
football talk live. Please remind yourself that you are a Giants fan. So
I know. That's why I got this pumped up energy.
Here's my take on this. It's gonna be interesting to see because remember, and I didn't bring it up last week. So which made that win last week even so much more sweet. Ben Johnson was the presumed head coach in Washington prior to Dan Quinn. Adam Peters and some other folks, they were on a plane headed to Detroit, apparently, to meet with Ben Johnson. And they got a call, text, or whatever mid-flight that he decided to stay in Detroit. And there was a comment, if I'm correct, that came out that he referred to the staff over there, correct me if I'm wrong, Gary, as basketball guys. It might, yes.
With Magic Johnson and everything.
Yeah. So
I recall something slightly here about that, but I think for him, it wasn't about that more so. It's just he thought he had unfinished business.
Yeah,
he wanted to give it one more go around. So you got to respect.
He did, and I believe that at the beginning of the good, he picked the wrong time to, I think, call probably one of his worst games that he's called in the second half of that game. So I hope for success for him in Chicago. But I'm gonna tell you right now, when they were saying all that about Chicago being the most stable and most optimal position for a ring quarterback, nah, buddy, that ain't it. Because they need a whole offensive line. Their line is not good. Now they can scheme around some of that stuff, but they need a line. He also has to go in there and rebuild the trust for those receivers into Caleb, because there was a lot of frustration about that towards the end of the season, how they were losing actually since the Hail Mary game. So he has a lot on his plate. I know he brought in Dennis Allen as his defensive coordinator. He's going to be calling the plays, Ben is, but he also has to be the head coach as well. So hopefully he had really good tutelage from Dan Campbell to prepare him for this, but there's only one Dan Campbell. So hopefully he is successful. He doesn't go the way of like the Bill Belichick type to where, he doesn't do as well as everybody else. Yeah,
I will say real quick about the O-line. I forget who said it, but it was the guy that's on the Pat McAfee show. One of the former head coaches or whatever. He had made a comment about O-lines. The O-line is not necessarily bad or good. It's really about schemes. And so it's going to come down to can they get the scheme. They can have 5 actually good offensive linemen, but if the scheme there isn't right, then they're not going to perform well. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing that he's going to have to, whether he gets another O-line coach in there, puts his own spin on it. That's going to be a big key. Also, again, with Caleb Williams not just loosey-goosey going everywhere, actually trusting his line to protect him and being in the pocket a little bit.
Today's point, fixing his mental and breaking a lot of those bad habits that we saw show up this past season. On the other side, man, you had probably one of the best hires, but I just hate the situation he's going in. Aaron Glenn being hired by the New York Jets. Aaron Glenn was actually drafted by the New York Jets, and then he actually ended up working in the organization as well. So he worked his way up, man, and they got him in there. I'm excited to see what he does. First thing is he needs a quarterback. I need Aaron to retire yesterday, because I would hate for this to get him like, no, I'm gonna come back and give it one more chance. And then next thing you know, we looking at Aaron Glenn, and he just sabotages another coach's, career, which would suck. But what would you guys take on that hire, man, for Aaron Glenn going to the Jets?
I hated it. I hated it for
I had it plugged in. Hated it. Sorry, go ahead.
I hated it for him, mainly because I'm not going to hold you. And I mean, no disrespect to Jets fans, but I ain't going to hold you. All the Jets fans that I know will say the same thing. The owner is not serious about the Jets. And I'll take I'll take back what I said about Jerry and change, just substitute Woody in here for Jerry. He don't give a shit about the Jets, bro. Like, they have been a dumpster fire for years, since they ain't been right since Testaverde in them. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks because their fans are dope. You know what I'm saying? They got an energized young fan base who's hungry just for some decency. And it's like, I feel bad that this brother went here. I know he played for them, but he went there, but his leash is short. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but it just sucks. He inherited some BS, some garbage.
What you got, Dave?
I like it situationally. And what I mean by situationally is this: if Aaron Rodgers is not there.
Yeah.
I like it from that point on. Because there's pieces there. Nobody can deny that. Mind you, before this all happened, we were all sitting back going, yeah, you get a good, stable quarterback there, they can make some noise. You just chose to sell your soul to the wrong one at the wrong time and mortgage your whole, not only now, but future towards it. And that's going to be the main thing. It's not even just recovering for this year. It's recovering for years to come, because there's so many decisions that they made because they banked on what this guy wanted, everything that he wanted. So do I think it's a good look for him being there? Yeah, coming back. I mean, there's only one way to go, honestly, with the Jets. So that's positive. It's not like he's coming in and, you know, has to do certain things to look good. No, bro, just bring a winning atmosphere, like a culture, and you look good. Yeah. But yeah, it's really going to start with what I said. Aaron Rodgers, if he's there, then I mean, yeah, I go with Earl. Then this is going to be a very short leash, maybe 2 years, and hell, they may not even have to let him go. He'll be like, "Yo, Dan," he'll pull a straight solid. Hey, Dan,
we're right back. Yes,
see your defense hurting a little bit. Let me come on back there, and that's how it'll be.
And when Dave's speaking about, Robert Saleh went back as the defensive coordinator of the 49ers, and that's pretty dope. Interesting is the Jets, they do have the number 7 overall pick, so they won't get one of the 2 top quarterbacks, but I'm going to venture that they are going to draft a quarterback. Maybe now they may. Here's my fear: they draft a quarterback higher than he should be at that number 7 spot. Maybe you're looking at a Ewers, or who else we got out there? One of those, like, should be like one of those second round maybe guys, those, you know, day 2, something like that. So we're gonna see. To Earl's point, you know, they're gonna have to make a really good decision on who they get at the helm, because that will make or break him. We know the defense is going to be good because now as long as his guys stay healthy, you know, but he has some tools, and he has a running back, he has a receiver, couple of receivers.
All those things are there.
They have they actually have a pretty decent O-line. They just need a competent quarterback, to be honest, and an offensive coordinator who's going to do well.
And real quick before you go, Gary, just to answer Jay's first question there, if you see it, the reason why he went back is that's home, man. A coach an opportunity to go home and just restore the culture that you know. That's why he went. Now, was it the best of situations? No, especially if Aaron Rodgers is going to be there and they decided to go that route. But I understood why he did it. It's just to the fact of what I've already stated. It's going to be horrible if they still try to rely on this man for one more year.
Yeah. Over to you, Garrett. What do you think these 2 departures, because these are 2 huge departures for your Lions, how do you feel that's going to be, how that's going to affect them next season overall?
That's a good question.
Great question. So first off, to the Jets, I think we talked about it last week. We said, like, this is probably one of the worst opportunities for whoever's going to get in there. So I don't think that changed from week to week. Like, that's still the situation. But they had the top 3 defense all year long, right? So even with Saleh leaving halfway through, they still finished up with the top 10 defense. So it really did come down to the offensive side of the ball and the aging Aaron Rodgers just not being what they needed, right? And so him also being too involved up there with Woody, perhaps with the GM or anything of that nature, that definitely played into it.
Right.
As far as the draft for the Jets, I mean, again, it's a lot of quarterbacks coming out in this draft class. So at the 7th pick, they're going to have depending on how they grade them, they have a lot of quarterbacks to choose from. Yeah, Shador, Cam, they're probably going to go within the top 5, depending on the needs of those people, right? But again, you still got Jalen Milroe, you got Ewers, MVP out there, Kyle McCord, Dylan Gabriel, like we talked about last week, out of Oregon. So there's some potential there to get there. And then even if I ain't even say sit there and watch Aaron Rodgers, like Aaron Rodgers is not going to be the benefit for them that they need.
Right.
So that's that. As far as how I feel about Aaron Glenn and Ben leaving, it's going to happen eventually because again, we talked about this before. When you are being successful, that's when the most people want you.
True.
And so they're going to want to strike while the iron's hot. They do this to become head coaches. Like that's part of what their goal is. So yeah, take the opportunity when it comes up there. Take the right one for the right time for you. Like so, Ben didn't take the Washington job because it probably wasn't really meant for him in that time. Thought he could do something this year. He left. Aaron Glenn's leaving. But I was reading something ironically this morning to where MCDC, Motor City Dan Campbell, he put them in these positions, right? Yeah. So Anthony Lynn was in a role, so he got rid of Anthony Lynn and promoted Ben Johnson to it. Yeah. Same thing with AG. Like he saw who was there beforehand and brought in AG above that. He has an eye for the talent to put them in this position. So do I fear that we are in a position to where we're just going to fall back to 0-16 Lions? I don't. We've already replaced the DC already with Kelvin, not Kelvin Samuel, definitely different dude. But Kelvin something, his last name at the moment. But he, based on everything I've been hearing and reading, he should be a good fit in the position for the defensive coordinator. Okay. So I'm just sitting back waiting and hopeful. That's why I still wear my gear. Still Saturday, Michigan State, and Sunday Football Alliance as well as Jags. So that's my thought there. Yeah.
Love it, man. And again, I said it last week, man. People forget that he promoted Ben Johnson from tight ends coach. Prior to that, remember Dan Campbell was calling the offense, so it's his offense. So I'm sure that he has someone, hopefully, in that is ready to take on the helm of that.
Kelvin Shepard, that's what it was. Kelvin Shepard.
Got you. So I'm excited to see what they do. Their only question mark is that one thing. And before we move on into the games, man, Jared Goff, is he going to hold them back from winning a championship, or are they going to be able to do it with him at the helm? And that's not me to troll. I mean, because you remember he was in with the Rams and they got rid of him with the Rams because they felt like they had reached their ceiling. And then they brought him to Detroit. And he's been great all season, but he picked the wrong time to have a Jared Goff game. And this time it didn't backfire. Well, it backfired compared to the game. He had 5 turnovers, 5 interceptions, and they won the game. And he had to pick the wrong time to do that. So is the ceiling Jared Goff, or what do you think, honestly?
No, real simple, straightforward. No, I mean, we lost that game because of turnovers. We lost the game because your boy Luvu didn't get tossed out the game, right? So if they actually did win the league, but they do, which, if I'm not mistaken, they do. So Brian Branch got tossed in the game in Green Bay for what they considered to be a hit. And he got tossed out of that game. But you have Luvu on the pick 6, basically Decleto dude, knock his helmet off. He's out the game, got Teddy Bridgewater come in the next play. When we get the ball, he finally gets fined, total of $30,000, give or take, for overall between that hit and the hit tackle on Gibbs. So 2 opportunities that definitely could have changed the scheme of the game. Whether or not y'all still score after that, who's to say? But Goff being the ultimate reason and saying we can't get past it with him, I can't bring myself to believe that just yet.
Yeah.
Need more evidence of that to be the case, right? So when he first came in here, he was dinking and dunking, not necessarily thought he was going to be the quarterback to be for the Lions, but he's proven over the past 2 seasons that he can do what he can do. And any quarterback's going to have an off day, and it's just better the team to do everything else. I will blame more cause on Ben for being the reason why over the turnovers, because, again, you have the interception that he's thrown, but you also have this play call that you gave to J-Mo to say, hey, J-Mo, go ahead and toss this ball down in the triple coverage interception, right?
Yeah.
Instead, he should have did like Sewell when they called that play earlier this season, eat the ball, go out of bounds, take a tackle, what have you.
Right.
And then also Gibbs wasn't getting the ball the way he had before.
Yes.
So that play calling is what did it more than anything else, because we were never out of the game until that final interception was thrown. So you change the play calling to where it gets some more Gibbs. Glad Montgomery was back. He probably wasn't 100%, but he was healthy enough to play. So the play calling towards the end really drove it. Obviously, Washington did what they had to do offensively. Our defense was like wet toilet paper. They couldn't do anything. Just kind of went through everything. So, I wouldn't blame Goff for that. I think Goff still is capable of taking his team to the promised land.
It was a part of me during that game. I wanted Teddy Bridgewater to finish that game. He just won a championship at his high school. It just felt like it was poetic. And then I was like, and then they scored on the play, even though he just handed it off. And I was like, oh shit, it's about to be a wrap for us. Then they took him out. I was like, we still got hope. And then, they ripped from there. So let's get right into it, man. So of course, Pete Carroll.
Real quick. Just on something as far as what Gary was saying. I think Goff can bring them a championship. I think a lot of things went wrong for the Lions than to just blame it on Goff. I think it was a horrible decision call, not the play call, but it was a horrible decision by Goff on that throw at the end that I think changed the game. And when I say at the end, I'm talking about the end of the first half. That one that they could have put points on the board, but he threw that interception to Sanders.
Yeah.
And he played it right. He played it beautiful, but trying to squeak that in there when you got guaranteed points on the board, you got to either see it or you don't. You know what I mean? And that was a very, very costly turnover. Once again, also, Gary, I do apologize because my boy from Michigan really did. He did his thing, DB wise. For the person that Shawn didn't respect when they chose him. By the way,
so mad.
Shawn said he was too small.
I called you. I gave him.
And I told him he's a game changer.
We talked about that last week too, though, as far as the play calling, how it should have gone.
Yeah.
You said that the Commanders had a top 5 passing defense, but they sucked against the rush. Not sucked, but they had one of the lowest.
But that's the way. But that's the way you go. And you got Gibbs. Like, I didn't understand.
They started.
I think also like they was injured, bro. Like they was playing backups on.
They were injured 2 weeks ago.
But I'm just saying, like it was like the replacement players, bro. Like every week they had to put new cats in, like not people, like they had to sign cats. You know what I'm saying? So like they had, like they was banged up injury wise. I think Goff.
Yeah, but we used that the whole year.
No, I know, but
they've been banged up the whole year.
I would piggyback with what you're saying, just to say like that first injury that we got of the game also told the tale. Amik Robertson, had proven himself even the week before to where he had shut Justin Jefferson down.
Right.
I think he would have been a McLaurin more so. So him breaking his arm right away.
Wasn't he a replacement?
That shit was rough though. But
no, I mean, he wasn't a starter, but he was, filling in.
Yeah. But I think
But hold on. I ain't finished my point. But so that was one aspect. I really think, I ain't gonna hold you. I think Ben Jones got, was it Johnson? Ben
Johnson, man.
Ben Johnson got out coached. That was the one time this year I was like, all right, he looked like he don't know what the fuck he doing. Cause he got away from the game plan. I don't know why they even thought about bringing in Montgomery like that. He wasn't, just stay with Gibbs. And they just wasn't using the personnel like they've been using them all season. And then I think finally too, I gotta put a little bit on Brother Campbell, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like he dropped the ball in a couple situations and
gotta get in his ear and let him know.
But he didn't gamble. He didn't do any of his 2-point.
He couldn't gamble.
Washington was acting like they were Dan Campbell going on 4th down and everything.
Yeah, but I think they kind of had their heart, and I felt like, look, he was confident. He gambles when he's confident in his team, right? I think that week he wasn't really confident in that team. Not to say that he didn't think that they was going to win, but not to the point where like, yo, I'm about to gamble because. Nah, they wasn't playing for him to be gambling.
I can't co-sign that one. I hear you, but I can't co-sign that one. I will say, and me and my best friend were just talking about this over the weekend, and I think it's something that should be instituted, whether they ever will. I don't know, because there was a lot of rumors going around over the internet and everything else. Conspiracy theories like, oh, well, Ben Johnson, his head wasn't in it because he already had one foot out the door going to Chicago.
That's kind of true.
That's kind of true. Right? That whole aspect. I would say it would be in the best interest of all the teams. So essentially, when it comes down to vacancies of head coaches, there's a legitimate blackout completely for the entire playoffs, not just for the ones in it, but just period. Like that job opening you can't even interview for those positions until after the Super Bowl. And that way, no one has a disadvantage of like, oh, well, I couldn't interview you.
The season's not over anyway.
It's not. Yeah. And it works. It worked because let's say, I hope he has good sex, but let's say that the last memory you have of Ben Johnson was how bad he kind of called some stuff in that. And let's say that, that transfers over to Chicago. You can be second thinking that hire. Same thing with Sam Darnold. Remember, he was on his way to getting a crazy contract. And them last 2 games, everybody was like, their last memory of Sam Darnold was like, nah. So now he's going to be like, settling for whatever. I mean, he's still going to get paid, but it's nothing like those 2 weeks. So to your point, have that moment because you rethink of which, about how they handle situations. Aaron Glenn, he did as great as you could do with what he had, and they still did their thing compared to on the other side. So much there. So it's going to be interesting to go, man. Again, there's a lot of moves to be made. Pete Carroll, new head coach in Vegas. I guess he wanted to get that rivalry between him and Jim Harbaugh going again, which is hilarious. I've seen some stuff about that.
Watch out for him trying to go pull Russell.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. My bad. So it's going to be interesting. Before we get into the games, man, of course, man, our next big event after the Super Bowl this year is our annual NFL Draft Watchcast, which is going to be April 24th of this year. And before we move on, got to show you what we got coming up. Okay, let's try this again because that didn't work how I thought it was going to work. Horrible today, guys. Let's try one more time. April 24th, live on YouTube, covering the entire first round of the 2025 NFL Draft. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. Of course, we won't have the statistician in the building helping us. Again, he does what he does. And then, of course, the guys in the blue going to be rooting for whoever they're going to be bringing in as their quarterback of the future.
We don't have the 6 picks, so I feel good.
Let's get into some games, man. First up, we got the NFC Championship game. It was a little over an hour away. Who would have thunk it? If you saw the intro, who would have thunk it? I'm gonna tell you right now, your boy's on cloud 9. Cloud 10.5. We were projected to win 6 games. I only thought the team would win 8 this season with new ownership. And then looking at a rookie quarterback not being sold on Cliff Kingsbury, knowing the deficiencies we had on the offensive line, knowing we only had Terry, and I didn't know how he would do because I know he gets, bracketed in games. The defense, at the beginning of the season, we had the same defense that we had week 1 ain't there now. They've moved on with all of Ron Rivera guys except for Sam Cosmi, who's out. He got injured in coming to this game there. And then we have Brian Robinson, who's there. That's it. Everybody else is gone. They flipped this roster by, I want to say, about 34, 35 guys. That's unheard of. We're damn near an expansion team. And somehow, some way, they are sitting here with the chance to go to the Super Bowl. Oddly enough, it was about 30 years ago on today that we were actually playing in the Super Bowl with Mark Rippon as a quarterback. It was January 26th of 1992, 91, 92. Check me out on that one out, Gary. 30 years. And we're playing for a chance to get back into the big game. Shout out to my cousin, man, actually, Joshy, for the chain. It was dope. He's actually Joshy Santos on Facebook. I'll make sure I'll share it. It's been a great time. This game is going to be very, very, very tough. I'm more nervous about this game than I was about the Detroit game, only because we are going up against arguably the best offensive line and defensive line in the National Football League. with a running back that is he is what running backs used to be when we grew up in the 90s and such. It's going to be interesting. But I'll say this: it's going to be the same thing that I said against Detroit. If it's a tight game going into the fourth quarter, some backside's going to get tight. Simple as that. What y'all got, man?
Yeah, y'all won in 1992. 14-2 record. Okay. Y'all beat the Bills.
Yep, that's right. How funny is that? The Bills are in the conference championship game too. How crazy is that? What y'all got, man?
So putting all my hate aside, right? I don't hate nothing but except the Cowboys, but putting all my dislike aside, right? You know, I don't care for neither one of y'all, but what I will say is that I do have respect for both organizations. Like I said, the Eagles, I respect them. I rock with the players. I rock with the ownership. They always had black quarterbacks, so I respect them for that. It's the fan base I can't really get jiggy with. The Commanders, like I said, same thing. Y'all are little brothers, so I never had no disrespect, no ill will towards y'all.
You know
what I'm saying? It's always love every single time we go out there, But I am happy as an NFC East representative. Like, we here, dog. You know what I'm saying? This is 2 years in a row that the NFC East. No, I'm sorry. Out of the last 3 years, I'm talking about when we went to the playoffs. The last 3 years or so, the NFC East has been showing up. You know what I'm saying? This year is a great showing because you got both teams, and it's not the Cowboys that are in the NFC championship. And it's going to be a good game. Like it's going to be a good game. So like shout out to all jokes aside, shout out to both of them who I'm rooting for. I think the Commanders. I want the Commanders to win. I think the Commanders are going to win. I think they're going to upset the Eagles at home. The last time the Eagles and the Commanders played at home, the Eagles got the best of them. I think it was like 26-18 or something like that. So it was still a pretty close game. But here's the difference this week. This week, and me and Shawn and Dave have talked about this offline. I really feel like out of all four of these teams, the Commanders have something brewing, something similar to what the Giants did in that 2011-2012 season. I'm sorry, that 2008 season. My bad. When they was going against the Pats, the undefeated Pats. They ain't got shit to lose. They're playing with a young quarterback who is a killer. He can extend plays. And honestly, the whole team is playing lights out. You know what I'm saying? They're going through their injuries, but everybody is locked in. It ain't about who's the best team. It's who's playing the best at this time, like from week to week. And they're playing the best football right now. I ain't going to hold you. So I really think the Commanders are going to win. The only reason why I say the Eagles could win, the Eagles will only win if if one person show up. If Jalen Hurts shows up and he throws the ball. If Jalen Hurts shows up and throws the ball and he gets both his wide receivers involved, where AJ Brown has more than 12 yards or 20 yards, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna have a real possibility to win. But if Hurts don't throw that ball, and Goddard is your leading receiver, or Jawan, what's his name? Jawan Dotson. Jahan Dotson. If he's your leading receiver, no, you cannot put it all. You cannot put it all on Saquon. You got to put it back. That's the only way I see the Eagles winning. But if they don't do that, I'll give it to the Commanders.
Check out.
Okay. So I would say the only way I see the Eagles losing this game, I think it's going to be a pretty good matchup. That's all I hope for because I don't have a dog in the fight. But with Sirianni screwing up and not doing what got him here. I know Earl was talking about Jalen needs to kind of go off as a quarterback, but that ain't what really got him here, has it? And just like I talked about the Lions and their offensive scheme when called what they did against Washington, where they failed at was they didn't run the ball enough. Right. You got Saquon Barkley back there. that offensive line opens holes for Saquon Barkley. So as long as they commit to that aspect of it against a team that's proven not to be able to really stop the run as much as they need to, then there's no reason why Philly should lose that.
Yeah.
This must be the most important game of the weekend as well, considering that Roger Goodell is here instead of being over there in Kansas City. Might be better weather as well. Who knows? But I don't know. I hope for a good turnout. This is, since the realignment back in 2002, this is only the 5th time that there's been an intra-divisional championship game, meaning that 2 teams from the same division are playing each other. Most recent one was back in 21-22 with the Rams and San Fran. Before that, you had the Steelers and Ravens in 08, Green Bay and Chicago in 2010, and then the Niners and Seahawks back in 2013. So even still, if you went back to 1985, it's only happened 9 times. So this is a very rare feat to have 2 teams from the same conference or same division. I think if you would have went back 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, you would have argued that probably would have been Minnesota and Detroit, just based on how they finished everything out towards the season. So it's it's happy to see again rarefied air happening again with regards to anything else. But I think the Commanders can win. I also think that the Eagles should win. But overall, since I don't really care, just want to have a good football game, so I ain't got to go watch Golden Girls early, as some people like to say.
What you got, Dave?
All right. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Goddard. You already know the line. Put your thing on mute, Earl. Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith Jr., Josh Sweat, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Slade Jr. Why do I bring up these names? Yes. When you look at them, you go, hell yeah, that team should win. But let me tell you something. This is the NFC Championship. You're dealing with 2 NFC East teams that play each other twice a year. Mm-hmm. All bets are off. I don't care what you've looked at stat-wise up to this point. This is going to be a straight who wants it and who doesn't. Who basically gets outplayed more.
Yeah.
This is going to come down to schemes. This is going to come down to calls that you have never even seen. Like I said, they see each other twice a year. What's that one call that you're like, oh, snap, I haven't even seen that pulled out the pocket yet? Like something crazy. This is going to be like what I mean by it as far as control of the ball, keeping the ball out of the other person's hands.
Yeah.
That running game. Brian Johnson Jr. has to show up. You have to use him. If you are just relying on Jaden Daniels sitting back and throwing this ball around, that's great. It'll be one of those games that, he throws for 300 yards, but you get beat. You got to run that ball. I don't care if he's averaging two yards a carry. You have to run that ball. And then just defensively, who shows up in certain scheme plays. Like the thing I was surprised about last week that I didn't touch on, honestly, with you, Gary, was I didn't think the Commanders' defense could show up the way that they did against your offense. And they did.
Right.
On specific plays, they showed up. Some of it had nothing to do with just bad play calling. They just showed up. They got pressure and things like that. So who shows up? That's really what it is. We can look at all these stats. We can look at that head-to-head. This is the NFC Championship, bro. Just push all that stuff to the side. That's why it's hard for me to bet on some of these games, especially if you're betting like straight up or betting spreads. I mean, 6-point spread, bro. Come on. That's what we got going on. So I just think it's going to be a great game. I don't even want to choose in this game. I know who I'll be rooting for, but I'm not going to choose in this game because honestly, I don't want to jinx you, Shawn. Keep it on your side of things. I don't want to be that person that's riding that bandwagon off. No, just do your thing. I want to see a great game and let the best team win and let it go from there. But when you run down that list, if you're looking at stats, they should be there as far as the Eagles and what they're doing and stuff like that. Yeah, you can sit back and talk about injuries. As Earl always says, everybody's injured. I don't want to hear none of that. Let's go. Let's go. This is that's why I was saying the one thing about it wasn't to get on your team, Gary, but when he was bringing up the fact of how many injuries are out there. If that had just happened going into the game, I understand. No, it is what it is now. It is.
Yep.
Yeah, we know if your whole team was there, it probably would have been a different game. But it is what it is. Y'all been playing that way more than half the season. You know? So when you get to this point, this is it. This is it. And I just want to see a great game. I haven't seen this area, just to speak for the area. I haven't seen this area lit like this ever since I've lived here. I lived right here, right outside of DC for 10 years now. And then I was living in Virginia before that. I haven't seen this area lit like this. And mind you, this is the craziest thing. Capitals won. Mystics won. Nationals won. I haven't seen it like this, and they haven't even won.
Yeah.
Think about that. They won championships. I haven't seen this area this lively, and it's contagious, bro. I'm sitting back like, oh, I like this feeling. This is cool. So maybe y'all could roll this money into this stadium so I can go to a nice place and see the Giants beat y'all twice a year. All right, so I'm going to flip it back on over.
It's going to be a great game, man. I mean, you guys said everything that needs to happen. It's going to come down to who has the ball last. Both teams are going to try to keep the other team's offense off the field. That's your best bet. And then turnovers. Washington won that last meeting, having 5 turnovers. That was a game also that Jalen Hurts was out. And the Eagles still had a chance to win that game. If Devonta Smith catches that pass, that game's over. We don't even get an opportunity to do that. And then the first game, that was a game that actually I believe Jalen had those injured ribs at the time. So that was another game so this is the first time where he's healthy, but Jalen is slightly not. That knee thing is going on. But they're going to have to leave everything out on the field, man. You can't be second guessing. You're going to have to run Saquon. We're going to have to play Saquon. They're going to have to use A.J. Brown. We're going to have to use Terry. Brian Robinson is going to have to show up like he showed up last week. And at the end of the day, it's going to be whoever, like you said, whoever wants it more. Shout out to Dan Quinn, who's did it again. Because now he shows up. Remember, he was the defensive coordinator, one of the defensive coordinators out in Seattle during the Legion of Boom days, him and Gus Bradley. He gets the job with Atlanta. He gets them to the Super Bowl. Yes, they lose and so forth, so on. Then he becomes takes a year away, becomes a defensive coordinator in Dallas, flips them around. They let him out the building because Gary don't know no better. Comes to Washington. He puts together a really solid squad. One of them has Anthony Lynn is out there, brings back Cliff Kingsbury, brings in Joe Witt. All these guys, man, keeps a couple of the guys from their previous regime from us, and got these guys balling out of their mind with a rookie quarterback who weighs about 10 more pounds than me, which is crazy. But, hey, keep it going, man. Keep it going, man. It's going to be a great game. Let's move on to the other side, man, because we have a battle of the Titans. You have the Bills at Chiefs again. I think we've all said that we won't pick against the Chiefs, man, because the Chiefs have just been chiefing. They do what they do. It's just they do what they do. Watching that game against the Texans, it was a part for just a sliver of a hope. You're like, the Texans may actually win this game. And then it was like, nah. Why? Because the defense showed up, but the offense was like, nah, we ain't here for that. And then, and then the Bills, on the other hand, everybody and their mom had picked the Ravens, and the Ravens pretty much threw up all over themselves. Despite the comeback, they still did. At the beginning of the game, they threw up all themselves, and it was just too much. And it was a case of to what Dave said, who wanted it more. The Bills wanted that more. And now you see two of the premier quarterbacks in the AFC, these two premier quarterbacks in the AFC going at it again. What's the weather like today? How cold is it out in KC today? It ain't the frozen tundra type situation, so I think everybody should be able to operate relatively well.
Ain't gonna impact the Bills. They used to that.
33.
So real quick, because I don't want to slide over this because I was speaking to a certain individual offline about this, and I'm just gonna say it directly. Can we stop the race baiting on this conversation about Lamar for a moment? And the reason why I'm going to tell you that is because we all know, let's just put it exact. we all know he's judged on a different scale, and we know why.
Right.
So we don't have to hide from that. Us talking about it ain't gonna bring no big change. It is what it is. As you can see right now in the state of the world, that's our society. That it just it is what it is. We know he's judged on a different scale. But hello, did y'all see the game? Did you see the difference between the Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson? Whether he wins his third MVP or not? Did you see some of the decision making that was being held? Did you see the total difference in the offense in the second half when they finally realized, oh, run the ball? Did you see that? How they came back? Did you see where Lamar was talking about turnovers, where he was a part of, I believe, 2 of them?
2 of them, yeah. The fumble, the interception.
You get what I'm saying? Like, this is the big time. You want to change people's opinions, you got to get past this. We already know you're judged on a different scale. We know that. We could talk about that all day. But how do you silence that? You get past it. You get past it so they can't talk about it no more. He came into the league. They were like not even talking quarterback. They were talking running backs. They wanted him to work out that way. Mm-hmm. Okay. And he proved that he was a quarterback. Then they were like, okay, well, you're a quarterback, but you're just running the ball. Okay. So then he proved, oh, I can stay in this pocket. I can throw the ball. I can put up yards. Okay, you proved that. Then they put on you that you can't win in the playoffs. Well, you just got to get past that. We can sit back and talk about it all day, but you got to get past it. What are we talking about with Josh Allen right now? You got to get past who?
I get past Pat.
You don't only have to succeed in the playoffs, you got to get past who?
Yep.
It is what it is. That story is going to be there. Why do you think Burrows looked at so heavily as that second person behind Mahomes? Because he beat him. It's not even that he won a chip. Remember, he lost. It's that he beat Mahomes in the playoffs to get there. And you're like, so that's what Josh Allen has on the line. And that's why the storyline, as far as how it's talked about, is different in that sense. But he's proven himself in the playoffs, even when he's lost.
Yeah.
Remember, one of the biggest things about Josh Allen was that game that wasn't his fault that he lost. Yep. 13 seconds.
Yep.
He outplayed him.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
If Lamar would have won, I agree everything you're saying. I agree everything you're saying. I just played devil's advocate. If Lamar would have won,
no, go ahead.
If Lamar would have won that game, would they still be criticizing Lamar?
Yeah, because he has to.
I think criticism would still be there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could sit up here. I mean, like I said, everything you said was on the money. I mean,
it's on a different scale. It's on a different scale. Now I'll tell you what. If he would have made it to this moment and beat Mahomes, I think it would be totally different.
Yeah, that goes.
The judging factor on it, and that's how dominant Mahomes is. I compare it to, NBA wise when people tried to get past Jordan and people like that. Like,
I don't think it would have went away. I think there's just a certain
well, I think there would have been a new excuse. Now you didn't win the championship.
Yeah, they'd have found something else to go after.
Yeah, they'd have found something else. I mean, like I said, I think there's just a certain level of that's just going to be ingrained, and so that's where you go back.
But I'm just saying, to the sense of what Jay put at the bottom there. At the end of the day, you want to cancel those things up. You got to show it. You got to all those conversations that I said prior weren't fair, but the reason why they're not spoken about anymore is because he proved it. So you can't talk about those things anymore. At this point, you just got to prove it.
It just sucks, right? It just
or not be the cause of your loss.
Right. You can't be the reason it'll be lost.
It just sucks though, because there's some things that's out of your control. But
like Mark Andrews dropping that pass.
Yeah, but you're going to get the short end of the stick, which I mean, that's what you got to assume some of that as being the leader of the team as a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But we can sit up here and make it. We can sit up here.
Can I throw this at you? We spoke about it, Earl. Mm-hmm. Now, one thing I don't understand is this: when we sit back and talk about things being judged on different levels, how the hell you talk about Mike Tomlin every single goddamn year?
But you don't talk about Harbaugh.
But you don't talk about Harbaugh with a better team.
And that's also what
he can't get past them.
That's what I was also about to. That's what I was also about to get to, because I'm like, yeah, I understand we're gonna have not we, but there's gonna be this judgment, hate, whatever you want to call it, criticism towards Lamar, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm like, it's other people that don't get that. You know what I'm saying? You could look at the Ravens and say, all right, well, Lamar had 2 tight ends, bro, that and a Bateman.
Yeah, one. Yeah,
You
one
know,
that
it
game.
had really one. You know what I'm saying? That he had to deal with, and then some unknown named Wallace, and then Bateman. And then two is like some of the play calling was horrible. Like
The first half was hard.
the first half was horrible. But I ain't gonna hold you. This ain't the first game where the Ravens they wait till the second half to start playing. That's play calling. That's the coach.
It is.
That's the
I
coach.
agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look,
So
Earl, to your point, I said it last week. It will be the coach that be the deciding factor in this. Do y'all know that there was not one design run for Lamar in that game?
Yeah, I realized
they did not call one design. The week before, they ran the ball down Pittsburgh's throat with that read option. Everything they did not do that one time against Buffalo at all. At all. So
go watch the second half and see what steered them to start coming back.
So at what point does John Harbaugh?
It was Hill and Henry.
Hey, right? Like I don't get it, and that's the part is I'm like, I know Lamar wants to be, and we don't want to take away from this game that we're talking about now. More so do we have, but at what point?
No. Yeah.
I want to, Lamar, you got to snap out and be like, bro, look, hey, we got to do what got us here.
Yeah,
what you talking about, coach? Because it's proven time and time again. Go look at the AFC Championship game last year. There's no reason that you don't call any design runs for the best quarterback using his legs in the entire league in that game. In those conditions, on top of that.
Unless Lamar wins it all. Like, unless he wins the Super Bowl, he's going to always get this screwed. They're going to always find something. I said 2 weeks ago, go back to the Steelers game. He was nutty. No reason behind that. Even with the loss to the Bills, his 2 turnovers, caused them to be down. But in the end, like, it really came down to a ball that was decently placed, that it touched your hands to catch it.
It was there.
Mark Andrews catch that. 2-point conversion. We're talking about going to overtime. Who knows what to happen. Mm-hmm. So it was always good. Even with his turnovers, they were still in the game. So it's not really, you can't really say it's his fault, and that's the only reason, because other things happened throughout that game as well. It's within there. But
the only reason
those small things with Lamar. So until he wins it all, it's always going to be something, right? So it's like, oh well, that happened, Lamar. So you can't be that person. But you know what? My stats this season before this playoff says I am the MVP of the league. So I should get that, my third one. Whether he gets it or not, the media's going to do what they're going to do. The same way they did with basketball with your boy Joker not getting his third one when he should have over Embiid.
Yeah. So let's talk about the other, I guess, the MVP runner-up in this case in this team. What does Josh Allen have to do to overcome Kansas City and get the Bills back to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1990?
When y'all, I think the first thing, when
they played us.
He need to pay the rest.
John Hodgley is the ref today.
Two, he got to but real talk, he just got to play like he been playing all season. Like, he has been. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I wouldn't even give it to Lamar this year. I would give it to
Saquon,
Josh Allen.
No, Josh Allen. I'm sorry, I can't. Josh Allen, because he been playing. There's been games when Josh Allen won the game because of Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't say that for any other quarterback outside of Joe Burrow. True. I seen a couple games that I was like, "Yo, Joe Burrow won that damn game." He just like, he looks. This is probably his best season where he looks like just a complete quarterback, where it's like it's not just running. He ain't even been running a lot. Like, he throwing dimes, decision making. Like, you can't. He's a grown ass man running. Like,
you know what it is. You know what it is, Earl.
Mm-hmm.
He's being smart.
Yeah.
Go watch how he plays right now.
Yeah.
Go watch the decision making. It's not even just reckless running.
No,
it's very strategic.
Yeah, strategic.
And when he chooses to run,
but that's why I said, like, he's probably the most complete he's been his whole career. So I'm like, really, it's simple. Play like you've been playing. You know what I'm saying? And everything else will be all right. Because I feel like this is an evenly matched team, in my opinion.
It's a 2-point spread. I would say for the Bills to beat the Chiefs, Mahomes and Kelsey got to get injured. It's just that simple. Because no matter how well Josh plays, if Mahomes is playing to a quarter of the best of his potential and Kelsey's out there finding those holes in his own, it's done because he's going to tear up that defense the way he's been doing it in the playoffs. Like he had for his purposes, he had a down regular season, but when it came to the playoffs, he stepped up year after year. Last year, same thing. They were like, "Oh, this might be Kelsey going down." He got the Taylor Swift distraction. Came down to the playoffs. There he was doing what he needed to do. So if they stop or have injuries to those two players, then their chances of winning the game just increases tremendously. I think if they just go head to head, there's no outside of the football gods doing what they do, then Kansas City probably has the edge there because of that player there. We're not even going to talk about D-Hop, whether or not he has an appearance or not, because I haven't heard from him all season until somebody said last week. I forgot he was still in the league. So,
I did. Yeah.
No.
I felt like his targets went down since Hollywood came back, and it wasn't even like it was high. He was averaging about two receptions a game.
For me, man, Buffalo has to do something that no team appears not be able to do, is take advantage of the opportunities when Kansas City fucks up. Last week, there was multiple opportunities for the Texans to take advantage of that game and take that game from the Chiefs, and they could just not capitalize on it, man. They just couldn't. Like playing the Chiefs has to be one of the most annoying things because they give you the opportunity to beat them in multiple times, and if you do not capitalize on those rare opportunities where you get them to be 3 and out, or there's a fumble or something along those lines, and if you don't take that opportunity, they dead ass gonna cash in when they have it. And that's what seems to happen every single time a team plays Kansas City. And then I think what happens is the coaches start to get tight and they start doing things outside of the character there because now they're starting to press and stuff like that. And man, they look for you to make a mistake. Look at the Super Bowl with San Fran. If Chris Jones is blocked and he doesn't get a free rush to a little buddy, that's potentially an IU touchdown, and San Fran wins the Super Bowl. But
not little buddy.
So I mean, it's just one of those things, man. What you got, Dave? What's your take, bro? Dave, is he frozen? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he was frozen.
He frozen?
Can you hear me at least?
Oh, yeah, I hear you now.
We hear you. Yeah.
I thought you was in deep thought. The way.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. This shit about to be good.
I'm not in deep thought on this game. Just realize that. Not on this game. Yeah, I just
over
there. They never feel like they're gonna lose, man. They never feel like if it's a close game, I just think it's inevitable. Like it's just what it is. If the Bills are gonna win this game, this is one of those ones. You know how I'm like, oh, I love to see a close game. Bills got to put them away in like the first half.
Mm-hmm.
They got to,
at least to me.
Got to. Yes,
they got to put them away in the first half because something happens when it's in that fourth quarter, and it's not just the Mahomes thing. Do you see their defense and the pressure that Spags brings in situational football? It's ridiculous, bro. It's night and day. You can see the team just hold in there as far as defensively. When it comes to the fourth quarter and situational play, I've never seen nothing like it. And this is not just the Chiefs thing. He did the same thing for us. He did the same exact thing for us. His play calling in situational football is ridiculous. Ridiculous. He's not just a person that's going, let's blitz every single play. He knows exactly when to do it and how to scheme it. It's like perfect play calling. He knows what you're going to call in the fourth quarter. So don't get in that situation. Just don't get in that situation. That's all I can tell you. You know, behind you guys winning it and that Daniel story, that Josh Allen story and the Bills winning their first one and going through Mahomes is up there, bro. Like
absolutely.
It's pretty big, man. To be a Bills fan and how big they are, that fanhood, you know, through the playoffs, sending that money off to
random
player.
Players. Yeah.
Well, the player that caused them to win.
Yeah.
And they send it off to their
They
actual
donate to their charities.
yeah.
Yeah.
like a charity and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that fanhood is something. To go to 4 straight Super Bowls and lose, and it's still like you won, like you're still out there every single week, every single time, like rooting for it. I've never seen a lapse in their fanhood.
You digging out the stadiums. Jesus.
They're one of those fanhoods where you're like, you always hear people say, I want to go around to different stadiums and do tailgates and stuff like that. It ain't even about the food. I just want to be around the people. I want to drink what they drinking. I want to see what the hell going on. Because like they are in the game. They know their team. They love their team. They love what's going on. And it's one of those feel-good stories, bro. Like just all the way around. It's one of those feel-good stories for them. So would I love to see them have to go through Mahomes, stop his three-peat, and even go on and possibly win the championship? Great story. Yeah. But that's where I leave it. It's a great story. This is Patrick Mahomes. This is the Chiefs. This is the AFC Championship. This is home for them. What is it, 7 years in a row?
Yeah, 7.
Is that what? I mean, it's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, Andy
You
Reid.
can talk about all the referee stuff all you want. It's ridiculous.
Andy Reid.
I think Andy and Pat and Travis are saying what you keep screaming at the bottom. All y'all praying for our demise gonna fuck around and find out why we are who we are. That's the way Kansas City plays every single time we come around here. We expect them to finally lose, and then it's like, hey, we are who we are. I would ask a side question to you, Dave, because we know who they consider the GOAT of the NFL, he being your beloved out of that team to the South. With him being the baby GOAT, as they call him back in the past, if he never reaches that pinnacle of getting the 7 Super Bowls, could Mahomes still surpass him if he gets a three-peat and wins 1 or 2 more? The way they try to say that, the way they try to say that,
I don't.
LeBron
but think about this.
Is the GOAT over Michael.
But think about this. If you measure it on chips, then Michael Jordan's not the GOAT in basketball.
Yeah,
true. You get what I mean? I don't count it off of chips. Hell, Robert Horry's up there with him.
Right.
If you're counting it on chips.
They shut up. Yeah.
So, but when you come on over here on this NFL side, like 3 in a row.
Yeah.
3 in a row. And then this is where you really got to play it off. With the team that show me where the dominance is.
Yeah.
He ain't doing it with that Philly squad over there. No disrespect to what they're doing, but they are loaded. They're locked and loaded. This the last 2 years we've been sitting back looking at KC like, how the fuck?
And look,
they doing this.
I'll give you one more. Then he takes them to a Super Bowl against they will play San Fran that year? I want to say it was San Fran. Oh, was it Tampa? The one where they didn't have an offensive line and he threw that goddamn ball parallel to the ground.
But he lost against Brady.
He lost against Brady there. And then you have the other year, his first year, I believe, where they're in the AFC Championship game and they are a false start or all sides away from them. He gets this three-peat from what they're doing, to your point, with the cast of characters that they have. Like, they don't have Tyreek in them. They just got, with the way that they play football, Travis Kelce, as a coach from my standpoint, runs pass patterns that I have never drew up in my life. Like, he was like, hey, bro, just get open. Like, just
he's playing street football. He's playing street football.
Yes. Yeah, Patrick running like his feet, like his shoes too small the whole time. This shit is wild to me, man. It's like, and he's able to do it, and he calms, like, it's the game truly
got a running back by committee back there. Like, they don't even know who's gonna get it.
Right.
Is this Pacheco's game? Is this Hunt's game? They
moving the tackle to guard because he can't play tackle. It's out there. Hollywood Brown, forget. I didn't know he was still playing in the league.
When it get Hopkins and he's getting 1 target a game.
Watch this be the game. This motherfucker has like 10 catches.
I bet Tyreek wish he was still there with that bad quarterback.
Yeah, he do.
And
he do.
He did the. And it was crazy. I know we give the comparisons to Jordan. And so I heard someone give a comparison that makes more sense, and you can ride with me with this one. He's compared more to Tiger Woods, and I'll tell you why. When they were balling out, remember they had Tyreek. They were going downfield, arm strength crazy. He was forced to change the way he played and to throw that underneath stuff to manage the game. Like Tiger changing his swing because he adapted to what the tools he had available to him, and he still playing. It's the inevitability of it is if the game is tight, you clam up. Tiger was out there in 97 when Tiger went out there and no one knew how great Tiger
How did we get to golf?
was going to be. You had all these excellent players. But I'm saying though, but now it's the inevitability part. Like whenever Tiger got there, even when he's down, you're like, damn, I'm still not going to win this because I know he's coming. To your point, Dave,
know what?
Pat there, they be like, bro, yeah, I know we up by 10. We still going to lose this goddamn game.
If you comparing them to Tiger,
it's crazy,
then here's a little hint for you there, Patrick. Don't go get no clubs and let your girl get them. That's all I'm saying. Let's move on.
Oh man, but anyway, man, look. It's gonna be a great day. I am over the moon, man. How this season has been. Like I've never been so jacked week after week. Win, lose, or draw, my ass is going to be on the goddamn roof after this game.
I hope not, bro.
Did you already buy your refundable ticket to New Orleans?
Hey, bro, like we work it. It's so many reasons why I'm jacked right now. It's going to be a hell of a day, bro. And I'm gonna be watching, impatient, nervous, yelling at the TV.
At least you know your roof is in good condition.
Yeah, thank you, sir. My real estate agent.
That's a good warranty, right there.
That's a good ass warranty, bro. So
could you imagine? And I'm not putting this on you. And just
shut your ass up. Don't talk about nobody falling off.
This don't sound good. This don't sound good.
But let's just say, right? They had to come to your house and they said, "Sir, what? How did this happen?" I climbed on the roof because, like, yo, and I'm only telling you this because I've dealt with this before, and this was at my wedding. I had to go to the ER,
man, don't do that to me.
and the doctors, everybody had jokes. It was, yo, sir, how did this happen?
Yeah, that's still a funny ass moment.
Yeah, like how, and Dave was there. How did this happen? So I'm just telling you, Shawn, just take it from me, bro. You don't want to be on the other end of that, the receiving end, and just say, "Sir, how I climbed the roof because we won, or I climbed the roof because we lost."
Oh man, it's
You're like, "Sir, you have a good night."
It's
leave
gonna
your
be
ass down there. You have a good night.
Hey, just don't pull no Deshaun Watson and you put that claim in.
Yeah, I hear
it. They see you walking around without a boot,
or whatever.
Stupid ass. It's gonna be fun, man. So we appreciate you guys.
Hold on.
Oh,
my bad.
Wait a minute, bro.
Yeah, hold on.
Somebody told me to put together some bet.
Yeah, because you about to.
I'm sorry.
And even before then, hold on.
Damn.
So I wrote this shit down. But anyway, so I was talking to Dave yesterday, right? And I wanted to pose this to all y'all. What do y'all think would be the biggest story out of these three, right? The Kansas City winning their third consecutive championship, the Bills winning their first, or rookie quarterback winning the Super Bowl. Black rookie quarterback. Yeah, okay. So let's go down line.
Yeah.
Go ahead, G Breezy.
I would say it's in the exact order that you put it. The three-peat, because it's never been done.
Mm-hmm.
So that will get huge news. Mm-hmm. If the Bills finally won one after being there 4 times in a row and never getting it, that'll be huge news. The only reason I wouldn't throw Washington above those is because of what you had mentioned earlier, to where your Giants were the lowest seed, came out of nowhere, and ended up knocking off the top team to win the Super Bowl. Like that was a huge story then, right? So in those orders would be, I think, the magnitude of the stories. All three great storylines. But that would be the magnitude, even with the whole rookie thing with Jaden. Especially with him with the rib injury earlier this season too, and then coming back and going through the gauntlet that they had to go through to get there, right? So beat the number 1 team, beat the number 2 team, and then beat another number 1 or 2 team in the championship game like that. That'll be up there. But if we're comparing the 3 of them, I think those other 2 would reign, in my opinion.
No, I get you on that one. The reason I said that is because I think he's going to get all the spotlight. But I think where Washington was literally last season, them being 4-13, a new owner, And if you guys didn't saw the post, like Daniel Snyder hates this shit so much because the year after he sold the team, and I saw a story, he didn't even want to give up the keys. It got so bad, they had to call Joe Gibbs to convince him to give the keys and the banking information to them because he didn't want to sell the team. For them literally doing that flip overnight and for them to they win, man, for a you got to think about it, for a time, Washington was the 5th most valuable team in sports, which is insane. And now they're like 14th, 15th or something like that. So, of course, he's going to get all the spotlight of it. But I think the whole thing is the totality. But, again, that three-peat is something special, too. So, all three of them are going to be great either way. What you think, Dave?
For me, it's hands down Jaden Daniels. If he leads this team to the championship, I just think it'll be on a whole, not just because I live in the area. I just think it'll be on a whole another level. Nobody saw this coming. I'm not surprised, even though it'll be a big accomplishment. I'm not surprised if I see the Chiefs win 3 in a row. I'm just not. I told you, I can't pick against them. Like it'll be a great accomplishment that has never been done. But you start getting into that Chiefs fatigue, like this is what it is. Like my second one to the Commanders one, hands down, is actually Josh Allen. If Josh Allen leads that Bills team past Mahomes and wins the first championship for the Bills, I put that very close. Gotcha, very close. Especially dealing with a team that none of us, once again, sat back and said, forget about a championship. They made it to the playoffs like that.
Right.
So they're like 1A, 1B to me because honestly, like the same type of reasoning behind it. Go ahead.
I put the Commander situation number 1 because for several reasons. Rookie quarterback. I don't know if there was ever, and I could be wrong, I don't know if there's ever been a rookie quarterback that's won a Super Bowl.
No.
2, black quarterback. 3, which is, and I have to say that because that's a feat in itself. As a rookie too. 3, you're under new ownership. You're under a new freaking coach. Everything is brand new. You know what I'm saying? Which is a hell of a feat to do in your first year. And sidebar, people got to start putting respect on Magic Johnson's name. I know there's more people involved with that, but people need to start putting respect.
Everywhere he goes,
people need to start putting respect on Magic Johnson. If anybody want to win, they need to talk to Magic Johnson about putting some money into their organization. Just give it to him.
If you want the cure, you know what I mean?
Don't do that. So then I would just say finally, like I said, this is giving me a little bit of Giants, as like they ain't got nothing to lose, and they've been playing correctly and playing lights out at the correct point or times of the year. Number 2 for me, and I kind of agree with the 1A, 1B would be the Buffalo Bills. And I'm not even just going to say Josh Allen. I think it's bigger than Josh Allen. I'm going to go ahead and just say the organization. Yes, and especially, too, with how those fans are, Like, if Buffalo, up if they win the championship. If Buffalo wins, everybody in this country is going to feel that. Like, I don't even know how they're going to do it, but everybody in this country is going to feel that they won. And you know what? They're more than deserving. They done been there. They done been there too many times, bro. They're a good organization, great fan base. Like, they deserve it. And last but not least, I would say, like, the Chiefs. That ain't even the storyline to me because, like Dave was saying, like, you're getting tired. The Chiefs are the bad guys now. You're getting tired of them. You're getting tired of them winning. Like, I don't. It ain't a feat. Even as a black guy, and I'm like, oh, you got Mahomes. I want you to lose, dog. I want you to lose, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That was blunt.
I want you to lose, bro. I'm not celebrating you winning. Like, oh, good job. Like, you guys are Tom Brady now. I don't want y'all to win. It ain't the same.
I'm with you. So before we get out here, man, let's go ahead and do this segment because I told you guys to pull it up. So
you sure did.
There's a lot of money floating out there. So let's put some on it. Take it away, guys. What you got?
You know it costs 3 cents to make a penny.
So let's go to that Washington Philly game. All right, Earl, let's go to that game.
All right.
Well, some of these best bets for you. I'm gonna throw out one here. Anything Barkley. Anything Barkley. Barkley anytime touchdown. I'm going for it. Let's see, Barkley. I'm going Barkley, honestly. I'm going Barkley 100 yards. Rushing. Just straight up.
Yep.
What you got out there so far?
So yeah, I agree. Anytime touchdown for Barkley. If you want to play a little bit safe, I would do 80 yards. Because that's under 100. I mean that's under 1,000 odds or whatever. But I believe he will get 100. I think the line that they got on him is like 122. Real talk, I don't think that's impossible. I think 122 can happen.
Gary, check it. I think the record is like 130 something.
And he averaged
the record for him to break the record of rushing yards. For a whole year, including the playoffs, I believe it's like 130 something yards.
Oh, I didn't know
36.
that.
Yeah. To break the record of rushing yards in a season, like combined
like overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he averages like 140 or something like that.
I mean, that's skewed though, because it's like it depends on how far you go in the
Well, it's gonna be skewed anyway because of how many games they play.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
76.
Yeah.
How much?
Terrell Davis had the most, 2,476.
Okay, I would have to see exactly where Saquon is. But
so then, on the receiving side, I'm taking and Shawn, correct me if I'm misspelling. I mean, missaying his name. Diamani Brown.
Diami
Brown.
Diami.
Bruh, take him whatever the line is. I think it's at 38. Take him over that.
Yeah,
I got him at 50.
Take him over that. He's getting that. Like they need to. I don't know why they got his shit so
and there's
low.
great odds on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they got his shit so low. Like that's one of Jaden Daniels' favorite target. I would take what's it? Olamide
Zacchaeus.
Yeah, I would take Olamide reception at 2. I would take Ertz 3 receptions. Goddard, I'm taking him at either 2 receptions or 25 yards. Devontae Smith, I'm giving him 25. AJ Brown, he's on the no bet list, so he gets no love around here. And then I will finally take Jaden Daniels with 40 rushing. And then I would do a combined receiving and rushing for what's his name, Eckler, at 25.
Okay. I got Daniels. I'm splitting them up. I'm not even doing the combined. I got Daniels throwing for over 225 yards. I think he's going to put on the show yards wise. Daniels, I also got him rushing for 25 yards, 25 plus. McLaurin, I got him getting 60 plus, mainly because he's always getting at least a 35 yarder, somewhere within the game. I got Goddard on at least 25. I told you Brown I got at 50 plus. Smith and Brown and AJ Brown, I got them both at 25. And I think that's actually going to help because there's good odds on those because the last couple of weeks he hasn't really thrown the ball. It hurts. So that's why the odds were so low. So that's a good like add-on on your bets on that game. 25 and 25, Smith and AJ Brown. Unless you got some other ones, we can go on to the other game, Earl.
Yep.
All right. So the next game, Buffalo and KC. Some of your best things out there. I don't know if you noticed, especially if you play on FanDuel, one of the new features I saw was the either or anytime touchdown. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
I saw that.
Yeah, so I played with that. My either or is Kelsey or Allen. I mean, I think I got pretty good odds that either Kelsey or Josh Allen is going to score a touchdown at any time. Also, there's a streak going right now. I may be putting the number out there wrong, but I believe that Kelsey is on a streak of 14 postseason games in a row of having at least 70 yards receiving. That's ridiculous. And if he is at 14, I'm counting this as 15. He's going to get 70 plus yards receiving. Shakir, I got him at 40 plus yards. Cook, I got him at 40 plus yards rushing. Hunt, I have at 25 yards rushing. And then I did take Fred. I got it at What you got, Earl?
So I got Patty Mahomes and Josh Allen at 175. Passing yards, I have Noah Gray, 1 reception. Kincaid, I have 2 receptions. Shakir on the safe side, I got him at 25. Travis, I got at 40 on the safe side. I got Ray Davis at 9 yards. It's low, and he's going to get it. There's 9.5 rushing yards. Take that. No Diddy. And then James Cook, I got at 25 rushing yards.
Oh, man.
Like I said, I think the one thing that I worry about with the Chiefs is, I mean, outside of Kelsey, you don't really know who gonna get off because they have so. And then now, like I said, you got Hollywood Brown, you got Xavier Worthy, you got the no name DeAndre. What is it? Hopkins. You got, you also got Gray.
Yeah.
You got Juju. So you got so many different people that they can go to, and then I think it's just really going to be
situational,
right? The one person that is going to be consistent is going to be Travis. Like Travis going to get the ball. You know what I'm saying? So that's I wouldn't lean too heavy on the receivers over there, but I would lean a little heavier on the receiving on the Bill side.
So Saquon needs 3 yards to get the second most rushing yards total.
3
to get the second most. Terrell Davis has 2,031 as number 2, and he also has a number 1 spot at 2,476. So between
was that the year he won the Super Bowl?
If he gets 147 this game or 148 this game, he sets the record. But he has, if he gets past Washington, he literally has 2 games to get 148 yards.
That was the year that Terrell won the Super Bowl?
He did it in 97, and then he did it in 98. So 2,031 in 97, and then 2,476 in 98.
Damn. What a back.
And 98 is when he set the record in the regular season with 2,008 yards.
Insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Insane.
Yeah, Terrell Davis was a beast. So.
And not even talked about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course, man, this is Football Talk Live presented by Zeno Clothing, man. Make sure you guys hit up ZenoClothing.com. Available now, their dope apparel and such, man. We're going to leave you guys the same way we started. It's been a hell of a season. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, Gary. But, the last, I guess you came on like the last few weeks and been on there and giving us all the good stats and everything else in between. Thank you for a wonderful divisional round game. It's pretty awesome, to say the least. But yeah, let's end it the way we started, man. And hail.
And then there was 4. 4 as in the number of teams left standing. Who would have thought in our wildest dreams that it would all lead to this? So, who will it be? A giant awakened from a 30-year slumber? Or a city of brotherly love trying to push their way to a second title? For another, it's perhaps the 6th time is the charm. And for a king looking up, history remains in the balance. Find me a better script. I dare you. Welcome to Football Talk.